You ever feel like your back pain just won't quit? You've tried stretching, resting, even getting a massage, but nothing seems to work. What if I told you the problem isn't in your back, but in your burnout? Yup, your stress, exhaustion, and even your diet might be the real reason your back hurts. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why, and more importantly, what to do about it. And trust me, this isn't just another stress makes your back tight conversation. Burnout can literally rewire your body, wreck your immune system, and even cause conditions like autoimmune disorders, all of which can trigger back pain. Today, I'll tell you how big companies are already looking into how burnout is physically damaging their employees and affecting their bottom line. The relationship between burnout and acute back pain, testosterone, and even autoimmune conditions. How a tiny tweak turned my patient's back pain from a nightmare into a distant memory. Why the things you're doing to fix your back pain might actually be making it worse. And finally, how to actually fix it. So what does burnout have to do with your back? More than you think. Because chronic stress floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline. Your muscles stay stuck and you're in flight or fight mode. Therefore, your back, one of the body's most stress-sensitive areas, ends up absorbing all the tension. And when that goes on for too long, it's not just tight muscles. You're actually weakening your immune system, which is heavily located in your gut, which means burnout doesn't just cause back pain. It can also lead to psoriasis, which is inflammation on the skin and in the joints, ankylosing spondylitis, referred to as bamboo spine, where your joints seize up and become painful, and inflammatory bowel issues, all of which create pain in your back and spine. And here's where it gets even worse. Most people's reaction to burnout is to push harder, work more responsibilities, more caffeine on an empty stomach just to get through the day. But the truth is, more isn't always better. And that's exactly what gets us to burnout and why people crash. This is something we as individuals and business owners need to start addressing. Burnout is our problem and our responsibility. Let me give you an example from my clinic. I have a patient, let's call him James. Late 30s, family man, successful, always grinding out work. Then out of nowhere, he had an acute episode of back pain that bent him out of shape like a banana, and the pain was like nothing he had ever felt before. Not only could he not drive to work, but he could barely string together an idea or even help out around the house. And that was a big problem because he had a wife and a young child who needed him. And here's the kicker. He didn't fall. He didn't have an accident. He simply bent down to tie his shoes in the morning and his back said, "Stay down." Panicked, he went for the pills to numb the pain and booked himself an expensive MRI with a neurologist visit. Nothing significant was found, no herniated discs, no fractures. The doctor gave him muscle relaxants and some triptans to numb his nervous system. When he finally came to see me and we started talking, it became clear his body had been whispering signs for weeks, but he had ignored them. He worked in sales and January had been brutal. His company raised the targets, moved the goalpost for the bonuses, and doubled the pressure. He did not spend much time outside since he was working from home and had no reason to leave. He also wanted to lose some weight after the holidays, so he went on a restrictive diet, replaced breakfast with black coffee, and put in 45 minutes on the stationary bike every morning. He was a man on a mission to shrink his waistline and grow his wallet. On top of that, his child got sick, so he was up at night running on broken sleep. So what broke his back? Was it the way he bent forward to tie his shoe that morning? The answer is all of it. That bit of degeneration in your disc, the arthritis, it goes unnoticed until you reach a breaking point. It's never just the one thing, it's the last straw that breaks the camel's back. But what if I told you it wasn't just bad luck or coincidence? His body had been warning him for a long time. Let's investigate this. What did he overlook? He worked more and spent less time outside. His mood dipped and his mind felt slow. Instead of resting or going outside, he grabbed more coffee, sugar to push through. Skipping breakfast left him cold, irritated, and anxious. Sure, he lost weight, but at what cost? The stationary bike gave him an adrenaline rush, but it also locked him in a bad posture. The rush never lasted. The crashes did. He was burning more energy than he could give. What he didn't realize was that mental stress drained him just as much as the physical effort. And without enough fuel, he had nothing left for recovery and no more energy for his family. His exercise, his diet, his routine, none of it fit what he truly needed. And when you ignore your body's signals for too long, it doesn't ask twice. It shuts you down. Now, the real cost of ignoring the signs. James spent a full week off work, not because of an accident, but because his body had reached its breaking point. He missed his sales targets, he lost a major client, and with it, his company lost over $100,000 in IT hardware sales for that year. All of this because of burnout. And here's the frustrating part. It was all avoidable. If he had been given the right support, the guidance, and understanding, he could have prevented burnout before it wrecked his body and his work. You may ask, what finally helped him? I'll tell you. At first, James did what most people do. He reached for painkillers. They took the edge off the pain, but after a few days, his stomach paid the price. Then he came to therapy twice a week for 2 weeks. It helped, but it was time-consuming and it's expensive. But the real change happened when he finally shifted his routine. We made one simple change. He started eating proper breakfasts with protein, healthy fats, and carbs to support his metabolism and his thyroid function. He stopped chasing the quick fixes and started doing exercises that actually mattered. Movements that restored his posture, built resilience, and reduced tension instead of locking him into bad habits. And within 2 weeks, his back pain started to fade. Why? Because his body was finally able to get out of stress mode. Food relaxes and it gives you the energy you need. This isn't some magical fix. It's basic physiology. Burnout wrecks your recovery, your digestion, and your ability to heal. And when you don't fix it, your body starts screaming at you in the form of pain. Burnout isn't just a feeling of tired. It's about running on plan B for too long. Running on plan B, the adrenaline and cortisol trap. When your energy levels are low, your body should turn to rest, nourishment, and recovery. But instead, many of us rely on adrenaline and cortisol. The sympathetic nervous system's emergency backup. It's a survival mechanism, not a long-term strategy. Adrenaline keeps you wired, but burns you out faster. Cortisol helps you push through, but at the cost of breaking up down tissue and suppressing healing. Your body can't repair, rebuild, or restore when it's in constant high alert state. The result? Chronic tension, inflammation, and the body that is slowly falling apart. Hormone disruption. Testosterone and progesterone take a hit. Your hormones are your body's natural protectors. Keep you energized, strong, and resilient. But under chronic stress, testosterone drops, leading to muscle loss, fatigue, and lower motivation. Progesterone decreases, which is critical for balancing your stress, maintaining metabolism, and ensuring deep restorative sleep. With these hormones disrupted, you no longer feel energized or protected. Stress gets stored in the fascia. Your fascia, the connective tissue that wraps around the muscles, nerves, remembers stress. When the body is under constant pressure, fascia tightens, dehydrates, and locks into a rigid state. Instead of moving fluidly, fascia becomes stiff and restricts movement. Tight fascia pulls muscles, leading to imbalances and pain. This is why you feel stuck or sore even without obvious injury. Most people don't realize that hours of sitting don't just make your back stiff, they actually deform the spinal discs. Your discs are slowly failing. The creep phenomenon happens when prolonged sitting causes the soft tissue of the discs to gradually deform. Over time, this weakness the disc's ability to handle pressure, leading to the bulging or a herniation. If you've ever felt worse after standing up from a long sitting session at your desk, that's because your discs have absorbed hours of pressure without relief. When the nervous system gives up, pain hits hard. At first, your body fights back against stress and overload, but when it runs out of energy, it throws in the towel. The nervous system can no longer buffer the damage. The resources for tissue repair, inflammation, cortisol, and pain regulation are depleted. Pain appears in the weakest link. For many, that's the lower back. This is why people say, I just bent over and my back went out. The truth is, it wasn't a single movement. It was months or years of depletion that initially led to the collapse. Your body wasn't weak, it wasn't exhausted, and exhaustion doesn't need painkillers. It needs recovery. The good news, you can reset this cycle, and I'll share with you 7 steps to escape this burnout hell. Not all of them may apply to you, but you'll definitely find a few that can make a crucial difference in your recovery. Number 1, stop the stress spiral. You need to identify how much charge you actually have left in your battery. Burnout doesn't hit suddenly. It drains you gradually, so pay attention to your energy levels throughout the day. Here are some key signs to monitor. Warm hands and feet, not cold. Cold extremities can be a sign of low energy and stress overload. Stable heart rate and blood pressure at rest. Your body should be in a balance and not an overreactive state. The ability to shake off pain and heal from injuries. Recovery should be steady and not delayed. Regular and good digestion. Constipation, bloating, and irregularity are red flags which you should pay attention to. Falling asleep easily and staying asleep are very important. Restoration happens at night when you're sleeping. Healthy skin and hair. Thinning hair or dry skin can indicate hormonal imbalances or nutritional depletion. A healthy libido. A drop in sex drive can signal chronic stress and hormonal disruption. Good levels of creativity and memory. Brain fog and forgetfulness are classic signs of burnout. Breathe to reset your nervous system. Try a simple calming breathing technique. There are many that are available, and they work because they shift your nervous system into a parasympathetic, relaxed state. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation fuels burnout. There is no supplement for it. Get outside after each meal to expose your eyes to natural daylight without sunglasses to regulate your circadian rhythm. Go for a walk and swing your arms. This simple movement reconnects your nervous system and your body. The left hand stabilizes the right leg and vice versa. Your body was designed to move like this. Break up long sitting marathons. If you work at the desk all day, stand up, go for a walk for a few minutes every hour. This resets your posture and signals safety to your nervous system. Plus, you avoid the creep phenomenon. Eat a proper breakfast and stop running on caffeine alone. Your body needs fuel to function, not just stimulants. Think about it this way. You would not leave your house with your phone with 5% charge. Prioritize protein, carbs, and healthy fats. This combination supports your thyroid function, metabolism, and energy. You should be aiming for 1 gram of protein for 1 kilogram of your body weight. Protein is essential for muscle repair, hormonal regulation, and sustainable energy. Cut back on stimulants. Coffee on an empty stomach just spikes your cortisol and adrenaline and makes burnout worse. you may need to rethink alcohol's role in your life. If you're serious about health and performance, there may be no room for alcohol. That's a hard pill to swallow. I get it. I used to be really good at drinking, but pain forced me to make a change. Move with purpose, not ego. I used to think that I could undo a destructive weekend by running harder and lifting heavier. It only worked in my 20s. You need to choose exercises that build stability where you need it and flexibility where you lack it. Train smart, not hard. Mobility and stability must be balanced to avoid injury. If work is breaking your back, speak up. Your employer wants you to succeed. They are counting on your performance. More importantly, your health is your responsibility. Now for the employers. The world's largest consulting firms and health organizations have made it clear employee health dictates company performance. Health isn't a lifestyle choice, it's the gold standard. Free fruit in the break room isn't enough. Employees aren't sticking around for jobs that are destroying them. You already understand the cost of high turnover. Creating a work environment where people can thrive isn't just a perk, it's the necessity. Health drives performance in every category of life. And finally, get the right support. Consider working with a skilled chiropractor, physiotherapist, functional medicine doctor to identify blind spots in your health. And if you want to learn more how to take control of your own recovery, join the Good Back Academy. The Good Back Academy is a carefully crafted 7-module online program that you can access from your desktop, from your mobile phone. It is there to help you understand what you need to do in case you have an episode of pain, how to get out of pain, how to prevent it, but more importantly, how to adapt your life in a simple and effective way to stay healthy, pain-free, and strong. Follow the link in the description below. So is your back pain really just burnout? For a lot of people, yes. The good news is you can break the cycle. Start small, breathe, move. Give your body the fuel it actually needs. Now I want to hear it from you. Have you ever noticed stress affecting your back? Drop a comment below. And don't forget to share this with anyone who needs to hear it, and it might be your boss.